wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons, the Transformers. The Transformers. That means the Transformers.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting edition of Transformers Reviews. And today, guys, I'm going to be bringing you a figure that's kind of one of the one that I was never sure I'd quite have, but now that I do have her, I actually don't regret it. And that is going to be Arcee. Now, Arcee, as part of it, she came in the same sort of packaging that Grotesque did. The kind of the weird black one. If you want to know what I'm talking about, just watch the Grotesque video. If you haven't already, you'll understand what I'm talking about when I say that. And like Grotesque, she came with two Titan Masters. One that forms her own, which we'll go ahead and look at him. And they say his name is Leinad, but if any of you have ever seen the 1986 Transformers movie, you'll realize that this Titan Master is actually based on the exosuit that the human character Daniel wore. You can see even his face, he doesn't really have one because it's supposed to mimic the little bubble helmet that Daniel had in the movie. So from now on, if I don't refer to him as Leinad or Leinad, I'm just going to refer to him as Daniel, because that will be easier to remember. And in addition to Daniel over here, we also have our special Titan Master. If you remember in Grotesque, it came with Scorponok, and he was partially die-cast while the rest of his body was plastic. Well, for Ultra Magnus, you can see here on the, I'll get back to that in a minute. For his robot mode here, it very closely mimics the Ultra Magnus color scheme whenever he was like a white Prime, because he had like blue facial markings and stuff to help distinguish him from Prime. Now, the funny thing about this Titan Master is the body is actually the same as Scorponok. If you look, it's just the same mold. All they did was recolor it differently. So I thought that was interesting. But like I mentioned earlier, on Scorponok, the face part is die-cast or metal. Well, for Ultra Magnus, it is the same thing. You see, that's a pretty nice Ultra Magnus head sculpt, but it's definitely metal also. So anyway, just one of those funny little things I thought about. But anyway, guys, as far as the vehicle mode goes, Arcee herself, I gotta say, you know, obviously this was taken from Blur's mold, but to reutilize it for this, for Arcee, it works. Because what they basically did was they changed out this bit up here for this kind of like, I guess that's a spoiler, I'm not quite sure. And they redid this bit down here for the hood, which has a nice little Autobot symbol there. So yeah, I mean, as far as the vehicle mode goes, it's sleek, it's slick, and it works for Arcee just as well as maybe even for Blur. So, and it does have these little additional ports here, which if you see, her guns are stored on the underside. Which, I mean, it kind of is hidden a little bit. I was hoping for it to be a little bit better hidden under the hood. And matter of fact, if you didn't want to, if you wanted to keep them there, but you wanted to have them pointing outwards in vehicle mode, you could have that done too, where they're a little bit more pronounced. Or, like I said, with these little medium 5mm peg holes, you could literally, even though the handle is square, you can still plug it into the round hole, and you could literally have these things on the sides of the car if you want to. But personally, I that's, you know, not something I'm gonna do, but hey, whatever, that's cool. So anyway, but yeah, as a car, I really do like it. Like I said, I never thought I would really have Arcee, but I mean, she rolls real well, and yeah, I mean, all around as far as vehicle goes, it looks good. So anyway, guys, with it being a Titan's return figure, it obviously has a little bit of a permeation of vehicle modes. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quickly. Okay, guys, so here we finally have Arcee with her hood converted into the combat sidecar. And I gotta say, that this is actually, even though this was derived from Blur's mold, I've always thought from a standpoint as to who this is marketed to, it being kids, I thought that was actually pretty clever, because not only can you have one Titan Master still driving the vehicle, but then you go ahead and put an additional one over here in the combat sidecar. So, you know, from that standpoint, that was pretty clever. I gotta admit that. It encourages families to buy more than just, you know, some of them little individual packs of the Titan Master so that, you know, their kid can have a, you know, anyway, I'm going way too in depth on the explanation. Personally though, I really don't care for it as far as how it looks and everything. Yes, if you want to display them, that gives you an additional place to display, you know, whatever Titan Master you want to. But I think just from a aesthetic standpoint, I think it looks, I just don't really care for it. So, but that's just me. I personally just like slicker, clean looking vehicles. You've seen many of my reviews. If they have little add-ons you can stick here and there, I usually don't care for them just because I prefer a more streamlined looking vehicle. But, you know, like I said, from the other standpoint, that's cool. Additionally, this can also be used because just like on Blur, the hood has this little pop-out piece that allows this to stand as an individual emplacement. So if it doesn't fit into like a base mode of one of the bigger robots, then this could just be a kind of a lone emplacement by itself. But then again, on the other hand, you do have the vehicle which is left as just this, which kind of looks funny. But other than that, yeah, I mean, like I said, I just prefer the complete vehicle. But anyway, guys, we will go ahead and look at Arcee in her robot mode. And here we go, guys. Arcee is finally in her robot mode. Now, I gotta say, because they originally used this mold for Blur, my biggest concern was I was afraid that she would look a little too masculine, having reuse of the mold. But looking at her now here, especially in her G1 color scheme, I totally buy it as a girl transformer, and I'm totally down with that. And you know, overall as a figure, I think it works really, really well. Now, one thing I did notice was these little pylons that are coming off the back of her shoulders here. Now, more traditionally, she is drawn with those pylons a little bit bigger and coming off her back section here. Now, I'm actually okay with them being on her shoulders. I think it still homages it perfectly fine. And you know what? Even though it's not 100% accurate, I'm totally cool with it. Now, as far as things that go on her back, here we have the front piece of her vehicle mode again. Now, it does show this piece where you can actually use it as, like, say, a shield. And I'm cool with her having that. But I think I just aesthetically like it better if we go ahead and just leave it on the back where it's also an option to keep it. And it's really well concealed. I mean, you have a little bit sticking out here and there, but it doesn't hurt her overall silhouette. So, alright, well, let's go ahead and give her weaponry. Give her pistols here. Yeah, so I mean, it looks, I really do like how this looks. She's really awesome looking, and I'm actually really glad to have her. So she works really well with a lot of the other figures that we have. So if we just want to pull in Metal Hawk and Grotesque. Yeah, I mean, she fits in nice, especially being a deluxe class figure. And I mean, helps her stand out from the guys behind her, even though they've got, even though they've got very loud color schemes themselves. So anyway, guys, I'm really pleased with Arcee, and I was happy to bring this to you guys. What I tell you what we're gonna do is, if you want to see what Ultra Magnus's headmaster looks like, I please encourage you to check out the Pounce and Thunderwing review that I have up. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put Ultra Magnus in his Titan Master form, and I'm going to put him on a body that actually suits his Titan Master form. And so anyway, guys, with that being said, we will go ahead and we will see you in another review.